The following Zoom session is being recorded and will appear later today on my YouTube channel, Math with Mayo. There are two different classes that may be observing this session. Therefore, when you participate in the Zoom meeting, if you do not wish for your picture or your name to be made public, please leave the video off and use an alias name. If you have questions during the meeting but do not wish to speak, email me at bmail@ibcc.edu and I'll respond as soon as I can. All right, so today we are going to review objective 2 in preparation for the final exam. And we're going to go ahead and get started with that. If you have questions or if I'm going too fast, please feel free to stop me. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep plowing ahead. So here we go. Question number 1 says, convert each decimal number into a fraction or mixed number. Be sure to write the answer in lowest terms. So we have 0.775. Well, as a fraction, that would be what? 775 tenths, hundredths, thousandths. 775 over 1,000. We could divide both the top and the bottom by 25. If we take 775 divided by 25, we get 31. If we take 1,000 divided by 25, we get 40. 31 is prime, so this doesn't reduce any further. So final answer, 31 over 40. All right, question number 2 says, convert the following fraction, 17 halves, to its equivalent decimal value. 17 halves, if we take 17 divided by 2, it goes in 8 times with a remainder of 1, so we get 8.5. Wait a second though. It says to convert it into its decimal value. So what we would do is we get 8, but we put our decimal point right there, and we get a 5. So the answer would be 8.5. Now, is that a terminating decimal, repeating decimal, or a partial repeating decimal? It's a terminating decimal, and the answer would be 8.5. And so there we go on that. All right. Number 3 coming up. Convert 0.74711 to a percent. So to convert it to a percent, we'll multiply it by 100% over 1. That is, use it as a unit conversion factor. Multiplying by 100 moves the decimal point 2 places to the right. So we get 74.711%. Okay, so 74.11. 74.711%. Okay. All right. Problem number 4. Convert 11/16 to a percent. Write your answer as a decimal or mixed number percent. So 11/16, I'm going to multiply it by 100% over 1, which gives me 11/116%. If I take 1100 and divide it by 16, let's see, that goes in 7, I'm thinking 6 times. 96 carry the wait a second here. Yeah, 36 carry the 3. So we get 96. And borrowing and carrying, we get a 4 and a 1. And bring down a 0. And let's see, 16 goes in 8 times, I think it is. 48, carry the 4. 12, borrow and carry, we get a 2 and a 1. Let's see, we can go with a decimal or a mixed number. As a mixed number, I'd get that, and that's a percent. But 12/16 could reduce down to 3/4. As a decimal, it would be what? 0.75. So we get 68.75 or 68 3/4. And we can see here, either answer is acceptable. Okay. Do you have a question, Mike? I can't hear.
Yeah.
Yes.
What assignment is this?
Mommy, sorry.
What I'm doing, this is the chapter review that we did back before you took the second objective test. And I'm just going through and working the problems to get ready to reviewing for the final exam.
Got you.
Yeah. Friday, I did objective 1. Tomorrow we'll do objective 3. Wednesday is a advising day. Thursday and Friday, we'll just keep going on through all the objectives, just kind of going over everything as a form of review. Okay.
And this is outcome
2.
Outcome 2.
Yes.
Okay.
See here, I'll go up. This is outcome 2 review. This is an assignment that you already would have done, though the problems might be different. And I'm just going through them as a way of reviewing with everyone.
All right.
All righty.
All right. Thank you.
You betcha. Okay, here we go. This is number 5. Convert. Can you turn your mic back off, Mike? So
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Convert 95.5% to a decimal number. Well, I'm going to multiply that by 1 over 100% using that unit conversion factor. That will get rid of the percent sign. Dividing by 100 moves the decimal point 2 places to the left. So we get 0.955. 0.955. All righty. And moving on to problem number 6. Complete the table. We have the decimal, and that is 0.001. We have the simplified fraction and the percent. Well, 0.001 is 1 over, let's see, tenths, hundreds, thousandths, 1 over 1,000. That won't reduce any further. So our fraction is going to be, let's see here, 1 divided by 1,000. Okay. And then as a percent, we can go back here and say, well, if we take this and multiply it by 100% over 1, multiplying by 100 moves the decimal point 2 places. So we would get, let's see here, 0.1, and the percent is already out there. Okay. Going on to question number 7. Oops. Complete the following table. We need the decimal and the simplified fraction, and we have the percent, 4 3/8%. All right. If we take 4 3/8% and we multiply it by 1 over 100%, that gets rid of the percent sign. So now we have 4 3/8 over 100, but 4 3/8 could be 32, 33, 34, 35/8 times 1 over 100, okay, which would be 35 over 800. So I'm working on the fraction here. Now 35 over 800, I could divide the top and the bottom by 5, and I'd get 7 over 160. That won't reduce any further. So 7 over 160. As a decimal, I could take 7 divided by 160. And let's see, that's going to go in 4 times, 640, 600, 3 times, 480, 120, or let's see, 1200 rather. Oh, let's see, what does that do? You know what? Well, let's see. 8, 7, how about 7 times? That's 0, 2, carry the 4, and then that's an 8, 0, finally a 5. Wow, that just kind of kept going on and on and on. So as a decimal. Let's see if that's right. Yep, there it is. 0.04375. And as a simplified fraction, 7 divided by 160. Okay. So there's that. Moving on. Question number 8. Let's see, we need to find the decimal and the simplified fraction, and we have the percent, 188%. Well, if we take 188% and multiply it by 1 over 100%, we get 188 over 100. As a simplified fraction, let's see here, I could reduce that by 4. If I take 188 divided by 4, I get 47. If I take 100 divided by 4, oops, I get 25. Now, it says a simplified fraction, not a mixed number, okay? 47's prime, that doesn't reduce any further, so this is 47 over 25. As a decimal, we could go back here and say, well, 188 divided by 100, dividing by 100 would move the decimal point over 2 places. So we should get 1.88, and then 47 divided by 25. Any questions there? All right, let's take a look at number 9. And again, I'm recording this, so you can always go back and look at it later again if you want. What percent is budgeted for phone and transportation? So phone is $65. Transportation is $150. And that's over the total budget of $2,005. So if we add the numerators, let's see here, 65 plus 150, we get 215 over $2,005. I can cross out the common dollar signs. So I need to convert that into a percent. So times 100% over 1, we get 21500 over 2005%. And let's see what happens when I do that. 21500 divided by 2005. It says round to the nearest tenth of a percent if necessary. I get 10.72311920. It's necessary. So to the nearest tenth, it would be there. The 2 would round down. So 10.7%. And let's see here. So 10.7%. Questions about that? All right, let's go on to take a look at number 10. Enter the ratio as a fraction in lowest terms. So 1.6 to 4.0 is 1.6 over 4.0, right? Because the first number goes on top, the second number on the bottom. I'm going to multiply by 10 over 10. So I get 60 over 40. But now I can reduce by, let's see, 8. 16 divided by 8 is 2. 40 divided by 8 is 5. So final ratio as a fraction 2 to 5. So 2 divided by 5. Okay. Number 11. Based on Peyton's monthly budget, what is the ratio of food cost to transportation cost? Food is $500 to transportation, which is $350. So I can get rid of the common dollar signs. I could also divide the top and the bottom by 10. So let's see, I've got 50 over 35. I'm going to divide the top by 5 and the bottom by 5, and I get 10 sevenths. So 10 sevenths. Okay. Number 12, a car travels 330.0 miles in 6 hours. What is the car's average rate of speed in miles per hour? So 330.0 miles per per 6 hours. Per 6 hours equals how many miles per hour? Well, if I take 330.0 divided by 6, that goes in 5 times. So 55 miles per hour. Enter, let's see. So we just put in 55 because they're giving us the units right there. Okay. All right, let's see here. Number 13.
Mr. Mayo,
Yes.
quick question.
Yes.
On the final, are we going to have like the measurements, like how many ounces per cup?
Yes. The things that you had during your regular test, the same things will be there. So you don't need to have the unit conversion information memorized, just how to use it.
Okay, thank you.
You betcha. Okay. Find the unit price for an 8-ounce can of beans for 91 cents. And they want it in cents per ounce. So we'd start out with 91 cents per 8 ounces. We wouldn't put ounces on the top and cents on the bottom because it says the units are in cents per ounce. Okay. So it says round answers to the nearest tenth of a cent. If I take 91 divided by 8, that goes in 1 time, 3 times, 7 times, but it said round to the nearest tenth of a cent, which would be there. The 7 would round up, so 11.4 cents per ounce. 11.4. We okay with that? All right, let's take a look at number 14. Find the unit price of each item, rounding answers to the nearest cent. Okay, so we want it in dollars per pound. We have 2.85 per 5 pounds. So that's going to be how much per 1 pound. If I take 2.85 divided by 5, I get a 5 and a 7. So that first one is going to be 0.57. Okay. Then I've got $8.40 for 15 pounds. $8.40 for 15 pounds. So that's going to be how much for 1 pound? So 8.40 divided by 15 goes in 5 times, 75, 90, that's 6 times. So that's 0.56. Okay. 0.56. And then finally, $13 for 25 pounds. So $13, 25 pounds is going to be how much per pound? So $13 divided by 25. That goes in 5 times, 125 and 2 times. So 0.52. See here, 0.52. Okay. Notice the more we buy, the cheaper it is. That's not always true. It used to be, but sometimes the smaller or the middle one is the best buy. But in this case, the more you buy, the cheaper it is. Oh, it says which bag is the best deal. So you'd say the 25 one. Okay. All right. Write the expression as a unit rate. Include the units in your answer. So a unit rate is so much of something per one of something. So we've got 535 boxes in 10 trees. So that's going to be, let's see, dividing by 10, 53.5 boxes per one tree. Dividing by 10, you just move the decimal point 1 place to the left. 5 per. Let's see, I'm wondering if they want the words there, boxes. It helps if I could spell, or if I could type rather. And then this would be tree. Let's see if that's how they did it. Yep, boxes, tree. Okay. I wonder if you put one tree there, if it would mark it wrong. Let's see, 1 tree. Yeah, it says it's okay. You don't technically need the 1, but putting there should be all right as well. Okay. Number 16, solve for the variable. So we have a proportion. And when solving a proportion, the cross products are equal. So 52x equals -13 times 12. We'll divide both sides by 52. So x equals all of that. But let's see here. If we take -13 times 12, we get -156 over 52. And that comes out to -3. So x is -3. Any questions about that? Okay. 17. Again, solve for the variable, solving a proportion. Cross products are equal. So 6.6 times x equals 6.7 times 3.96. Divide both sides by 6.6. So x equals, and we have what, 6.7 times 3.96 divided by 6.6 comes out to 4.02. Yes, I'm using a calculator. Yes, you can use a calculator. All right. Number 18. Solve for the variable in the following. 7/4 over x equals 0.75 over 3/2. Some of it's fractions, some of it's decimals. It'd be nice to have it all the same. I'm going to go ahead and change 0.75 to 3/4, because 0.75 would be 75 hundredths would be 3/4. So now I have 3/4 x equals 7/4 times 3/2. Multiplying both sides by the reciprocal of the coefficient of x, I get 1 times x, or just x. Here, the 4's reduce, the 3's reduce, and I've got 7/2. And let's see, should I use it, write it as an improper fraction or a mixed number or a decimal? Well, I have improper fractions and I have decimals. I think I would go with 7/2. Let's see what they've got. They have 7/2, but if I put 3.5 in there, which is a decimal, that should also be correct. Let's see what it says. Yeah, so either way. Okay. Because the directions didn't specify. Okay. Number 19. A new energy drink advertises 84 calories for 6 ounces. How many calories are in a 16-ounce drink? So 84 calories per 6 ounces is how many calories per 16 ounces? So setting up our proportion, we have calories per ounce, calories per ounce. Set the cross products equal. 6 times x equals 84 times 16. Divide both sides by 6. Let's see, I think 84 divided by 6 is 14 times 16 is 224. So how many calories? 224. So we're setting up a proportion there. Number 20, Isabella wants to fertilize her lawn. A bag states to use 3 pounds of fertilizer for every 1,000 square feet. So 3 pounds per 1,000 square feet. How many pounds of fertilizer? So X pounds, which he used for approximately 3,500 square feet. So we get the cross products, 1,000 times X equals 3 times 3,500. Divide both sides by 1,000. Reduce that down. I could get rid of 2 zeros on the top and the bottom here. So I've got what, 35 times 3, okay? So 35 times 3 is 105 divided by 10, which would move the decimal point over 1 place, 10.5 pounds, or 10.5 pounds. We'll go with 10.5, 0.5 pounds. Okay. If I don't get through them all today, I'll pick up where I left off tomorrow and just continue. Find the unknown lengths for the similar triangles. If needed, round to 2 decimal places. Okay. So we've got 6 meters, 9 meters, 7.5 meters, 14.4 meters, X and Y. So 6 is to 14.4 as 7.5 is to X. 6 is to 14.4 as 7.5 is to X. Okay. You always want to go the same direction in both cases. So then the cross products, 6x equals 14.4 times 7.5. Divide both sides by 6. 14.4 times 7.5 divided by 6 equals 18. And then for the y, we would say 6 is to 14.4 as 9 is to y. So 6y equals 14.4 times 9. Divide both sides by 6. Y equals 14.4 times 9 divided by 6 and we get 21.6. This is rounded to 2 decimal places if necessary. So here we've just got 18, and here we've got 21.6. Okay. Don't be misled. Sometimes it'll say this, and then you think, oh, it must go out a long ways. It doesn't always happen. It's just saying, well, if it does happen. A statue that is 3 feet tall casts a 3.5 foot shadow. So 3 feet, 3.5 foot. So this is the shadow. A nearby building casts a 21 foot shadow. 21 foot shadow. What's the height of the building? X feet. So we've got the object over the shadow, the object over the shadow. So 3.5x equals 3 times 21. Divide both sides by 3.5. So we've got 3 times 21, which is 63, divided by 3.5, which is 18 feet. And it has units of feet, so we don't need to write the units in there. This is something that people will miss. For instance, let's see what happens if I put units of feet in there, if it still accepts it. Oh, it did. Error. Oh, well. So apparently it lets you put the units in even if they're there, but it may not always do that. So my point is pay attention to what is in front of you there. Okay. All right. 23. We're going to translate this into an algebraic equation. 40.02 is 0.58 times what number? Okay, so is becomes equals, of becomes multiplication, and we convert the 58% into a decimal number, which is 0.58. Then dividing both sides by 0.58, I get 40.02 divided by 0.58, which is 69. Okay. Number 24. What percent of 9 is 4.5? So of is times, is equals, what percent is the unknown? We divide both sides by 9. And let's see here, 4.5 divided by 9 is 0.5. However, that's not a percent. We're looking for the percent. And remember, in the equation, it's not a percent. So this needs to be converted into a percent, which is going to be 50%. Everybody okay with that? All right, let's take a look at 25. 0.3% of 12, let's see, 0.3%, that would be, if we converted that into a regular number, we'd have what? 0.3 over 100. Dividing by 100 would move it over 2 more places. So that's going to be 0.003 of 12 is what number? Okay, so 0.003 times 12 is 0.036. Okay. One serving of oatmeal has 9 grams of fiber. which is 40.9% of the recommended daily amount. What is the total recommended daily amount? So 9 grams is 40.9% of X of the recommended daily amount. So 9 is what, 0.409 times X, because you take 40.9% times 1 over 100%, the percents that go away, dividing by 100, you'd move the decimal point 2 places to the left. So then I'm going to come back and divide both sides by 0.409. So 9 divided by 0.409. Round to the nearest gram, I get 22.00, etc. So it would be 22 grams. Okay. Number 27. Kimberly gets paid $2,200 per month. She pays $975 a month in rent. What percent of her monthly pay goes to rent? Well, $925 out of $2,220 is what percent? So we could convert that, multiply it by 100% over 1. I can get rid of the dollar signs. I could cross out 2 zeros on top and 2 zeros on the bottom, right? Dividing both the top and the bottom by 100. So now what I've got? I've got 925 over 22. And let's see here, 925. Oops. This is percent. So 925 divided by 22. Okay. Oh, it's repeating. Let's see. It's 42.045 repeating. Let's do that as a mixed number because it's not giving me anything it wants me to do. So let's take, if I take 925 divided by 22, that goes in 4 times, 88. And that goes in 2 times, 44, and then 1 over 22. Let's see if it does that. It doesn't say to round. Let's look at the detail, but they did. So they should have said round to the nearest percent, but they didn't do that. Okay. Would have been nice if they had. And yes, don't worry if something like that comes up on a test. I always look at everybody's wrong answers to see what really happened there. Or I should say answers that WAMAT marks wrong. Hannah got a raise in her hourly pay from $16.70 to $20.04. Find her increase, her percent increase in pay. All right, so let's see, that's 4, 3, 3. So her increase in pay was $334. So $334 is what percent of her original $16.70. So we divide both sides by 1670. So X is $3.34 over 16.70. We can cross out the common numbers there, okay? But we need to convert this into a percent, okay? So let's see, if we take 3.34 times 100 divided by 16.70, we get 20%. Any questions about that? Okay. $29, in 1 month, the median home price in the West fell from $214,700 to $206,112. Find the percent decrease. Okay, so what we're going to do here is find the amount of decrease. So that's what, an 8, and a 5, and an 8. I'm going to double check that on my calculator. Let's see, 214,700 minus 206,112, 8588. Find the percent of decrease. So 8588 is what percent of the original amount, 214,700. So we'll divide both sides by 214,700. So on the right, I get X. On the left, I can get rid of the dollar signs. So I've got 8588 over 214,700. We're going to multiply that by 100% over 1, which should change it into a percent. So 8588 times 100 divided by 214,700, and I get 4%. And again, it already has the percent sign there in the answer. Okay. All right, let's take a look at number 30. The cost of a pair of boots is $120. The sales tax rate is 5%. How much must be paid in tax? So what is 5% of $120? X equals 0.05 times $120. Okay. And if we take 0.05 times 120, we get $6. And then the total cost of the boots would be the 120 plus the 6, $126. So tax total. Okay. All right. 31. Rashonda bought a mixer with a sticker price of $260. The sales tax on the purchase was $11.96. Find the sales tax rate. So let's see here. $11.96 is what percent of $260? 11.96 equals X times 260. We'll divide both sides by $260. The dollar signs go, so we have 11.96 divided by 260. 11.96 divided by 260. And we get 0.046 equals X. But keep in mind, this needs to be a percent, and within the actual equation, it isn't. So to change it into a percent, we move the decimal point 2 places to the right, add a percent sign, that is to multiply it by 100%. So we get 4.6%. Okay. 32. Chase is a realtor and earned $6,525 in commission on a sale of a $225,000 house. What is his rate of commission? So $6,525 is what percent of $225,000? Okay. Divide both sides by 225,000. Get rid of that. Let's see here. So 6,525 over 225,000. I got to multiply that by 100% over 1, because the commission rate would be written as a percent. Okay, so I've got 100 times 6,525, that's a 2, and then divided by 225,000, and we get 2.9%. Here, 2.9%. Okay. Yeah, I've still got a long ways to go. Like I say, we'll pick this up tomorrow if we don't get through it all. And I can tell you right now, we're not going to get through it all. Number 33. Miriam bought a stroller on sale for $261.79. The original price was $402.75. What is the discount rate? Well, let's see. If the original price was $402.75 and the sale price was $261.79, let's see what the amount of discount was. $402.75 minus 261.79, 140.96. So that's the amount of discount. So 140.96 is what percent of 402.75? Okay. Divide both sides by $402 and let's see here. Hang on. That's a 7. That's a 7. Yeah. Can't read my own writing. Divided by 402.75. So we get 140.96 over 402.75, because we can get rid of the dollar signs, but we have to convert it into a percent. So 140.96 times 100 divided by 402.75. And if needed, round to 1 decimal place, I'm getting 34.999. So that's going to be 35%. All righty. And let's see here. We're now starting the unit conversions. I'm going to go ahead and stop there, and we'll pick it up tomorrow on question number 34. So we'll continue objective 2, doing unit conversions. And I see everybody's bailed on me, so I'll go ahead and stop the recording